Leaning Tower of Pisa has been leaning a little bit more every year for 800 years. But last year it lost some of its lean. We'll find out how. Here, Laudette. Come on. Oh, look, he got in. He got it open. You know, 180 feet high. I'm Alan Alda. Join me for a scientific tour of Italy on Scientific American Frontiers. There's a story that goes like this. Sometime in the late 1500s, Galileo Galilei left his house just down the street here in Pisa and headed for the tower. Years ago, the conventional wisdom about how the world works hadn't changed since the ancient Greeks. They said a heavy object falls faster than a lighter one. Galileo's novel idea was to actually drop two objects and see which one landed first. In other words, to do an experiment. He was also probably the first one to say, don't try this at home. Here goes. Now, there are spoil sports who say that Galileo never did drop the balls from this tower or from any other tower. But the story has come to symbolize the birth of experimental science. Ask a question, do an experiment, try to figure out why you saw what you saw. For 400 years now, experimental science has changed the world. And with any luck, it may help save the tower where it all began. When did the tower first start to lean?
Well, actually, it started to lean from the beginning, even during construction.
When did they start construction?
They started construction in 1173, and the start of the construction is a funny one in the sense that it did not proceed regularly from the beginning up to the completion.
What, did they built it for a while and then they stopped?
Yes, the first stage of the construction was performed from 1173 to 1178, and let's say the construction was stopped more for political reasons.
So they had like a strike?
Ones. We do not have precise information about this. But anyway,
they didn't have airlines then, so they had to strike the tower.
Maybe it was a matter of money as well.
Have you actually brought it back?
Yes, the tower was, let's say, this 600-ton weight has caused a horizontal movement at the top of the tower of about 20 millimeters, almost an inch.
Almost an inch?
At the top.
No, it's leaning that way,
It's
maybe
really-
15, 16 feet, and you brought it back an inch.
Yes, correct. But it is a very small, very small.
I was
let's
standing
say-
at the top. I don't know if I noticed that. This is amazing. I mean, your tendency is to want to follow the building. But what's all this in here?
Well, here you can see some of the instrumentation that we were speaking about before.
So there's something that goes up that tube? What is that?
Correct. That one is a pendulum. There is a steel wire which is hanging from the top of the tower, 50 meters up, more or less, which is protected by that PVC pipe.
What's this thing over here on the wall, this box on the wall?
Those are strain gauges. They are.
Sorry, I didn't mean to lean against the wall here, pardon me.
This is the dangerous side.
I know.
They are positioned across one crack, one of those which I think can be defined as historical cracks.
What do you mean a historical crack?
Because they are two parts of the instruments. When it freezes,
Yeah. Yeah.
it means that the tower kind of freezing.
Yeah.
The stones there on the southern side, which is the dangerous side,
Yeah.
decrease in volume, so it tilts even more.
It tilts more. So
It
what's a
is-
good day to go up?
15th of July, midday.
Today's a good day? Are you sure? How would I know today's a good day? Do you have an instrument in here that will tell me today's...
You must trust me. Then we go up and then we see what happens.
Okay, I'm set.
Okay,
Andiamo.
so we can go. Andiamo. This elevation, it is, the points which have shown the most dangerous or preoccupying level of
I'd like to
weakness.
hook on now, pardon me. Where do we hook on here?
Yes, here, to this rope. So
Thank you.
Inside there.
Like that?
Right, at the same
I'm
time, we
okay.
can walk safely.
This way?
We can walk safely this way around the tower.
Now what's...
They are embracing actually the external wall of the structure, and they are meant to contain the risk of local explosion of material.
That's nice. Good. I'm
On
so
the
glad to
walls.
hear that. That's embracing the structure so it doesn't
Embracing the
explode.
structure.
Good.
Yes.
The tower will never be straight up and down.
Cannot be straightened out.
And is that because you can't do it, or it won't be such a good tourist attraction?
Yes, no. Basically, it is because it has been built like a big banana.
Right.
So if you,
I noticed that.
so if you try to bring it up to a vertical position, you will probably fall over
The other way.
side.
My ancestors came from this region. In fact, the name I was born with is Alfonso d'Abruzzo, which means Alphonse from Abruzzo. They probably came from a little village just like this. Around the turn of the century, many thousands of people left the Abruzzo region to go to America for the prosperity that was there. And since then, a lot of modern roads have been built linking Abruzzo with the rest of Italy, bringing prosperity here, but in the process, threatening the existence of some of the region's oldest inhabitants.
Ecco. Sì. Ecco.
Lauretta.
Lauretta, coraggio.
Va bene, Lauretta.
Prendi.
E hai fame?
Ah? Hai fame, Lauretta? Coraggio. Mangia il latte.
Why would the mother abandon a little cub like this?
I think that in some years it's not possible that every mother bear may feed with success 2 or 3 bears. In this case, she had 2, and the strongest was okay, but this one needed help. In nature, without our intervention, she was lost.
Here, Lauretta. Come on.
How good.
I like how she uses her hand there, her paw. Just keep it on the stick, kid.
Yeah.
As you get more and more of these bears out in the mountains, what's the reaction of the people living around here? I mean, are the bears a danger to the people coming into town and that kind of thing?
No, they are very shy. They are very peaceful.
She sounded kind of aggressive when she came over.
Yes, but she's a wild animal. She doesn't like to have people. She does like honey, but not people. And that's the reason she survives.
Chiaramente la popolazione di soli 70-80 individui significa che il patrimonio genetico di questi animali è estremamente ridotto. Chiaramente se si scende al di sotto di un certo numero di individui della popolazione le probabilità di ripresa sono molto poche, sono veramente molto limitate.
Può darsi che iniziano...
Allora, mettilo sopra. Ok. La popolazione di orso dell'Appennino ha probabilmente una storia evolutiva completamente diversa da tutte le altre popolazioni europee e quindi perdere la loro purezza genetica sarebbe una grossa perdita per quanto riguarda l'adattamento di questa popolazione a questo ambiente, a questo clima, a questo habitat.
What would be her future?
I suppose that it will be very difficult to leave her in the wild again because she needs the education from the mother. But we can use this bear to build up a breeding pair to have more Abruzzo brown bears for the future, like a genetic bank.
looks like he's getting a little drowsy now, a little sleepy. Huh?
You can see that he...
There he goes, there he goes. Where is he taking the blood from? So from this vein here?
Yes, the jugular vein.
Jugular.
Jugular.
Okay. After he gives all that blood, you give him a cup of coffee and a donut?
He prefers a big steak and not coffee.
He looks like he's grinning. He's right. Yeah. Sandro. Buongiorno Sandro. Yeah. She wants to eat something else, and that's starting to bother me. What do you like? You don't feel like a hamburger or anything, do you? Does she eat actors? Mangiatore.
Mangiatore?
Yeah.
Ha mangiato?
Oh, yeah, she ate one already. Oh, good. How many of these chamois do you have now?
Now, in the Abruzzo National Park, we have more than 600 Abruzzo chamois. But when the park was created in 1922, there were only 30 left.
So you went from 30 to 600
Yes,
in
this was a big
those
success,
years.
and we plan to reintroduce the chamois in other big Abruzzo mountains.
The problem of this population is the last population of this kind of chamois, and for a long time there was a small number of animals. So all the animals are like brother and sister, so the genetic variability is very low.
Via.
Para.
Molto stressata, durante la cattura molto stress e questa reazione di panico e incapacità a correre.
Tu dici?
No, ma dai, tanto non
Sì, lascialo così.
Questi sono tutti quelli, questo è tutto il branco del bocconiere.
This is the Policlinico Umberto I, where they've been performing and teaching surgery for almost a century now. But up there on the top floor, they're pioneering a new form of surgery which may take us into the next century. This is how you normally see doctors washing up before an operation, but today Dr. Angelini and I don't have to be too careful about how clean we are because we're very unlikely to infect the patient, who is about 360 miles away in Milan.
Andiamo a montare il tratto come abbiamo fatto già le altre volte. Lo inseriamo dentro. La ciste. Perfetto. Chiudiamo il tutto.
We start the system.
Buongiorno.
Professor Roetta,
Good morning, how
now we see you. Are you ready to start the procedure for the biopsy?
Start now, okay.
I have selected the first spot for the incision. I am confirming now.
How do you know where you want to put the first incision?
Because that's my job.
No, but I mean, all you see is this square of skin.
Yes, but we know how the field is selected.
I see, I see. Okay. So anyway,
This would be the ribs, you know?
I see.
And I know that the first cut should be there.
okay.
I asked Dr. Alda to make the cut.
Okay.
You become surgeon today.
This will only hurt for a second. I cut.
Once more, please.
Oh, one more, there.
I think it's enough now. The cut is very, very long.
Well, let's delete some of those cuts.
Adesso l'altro, la Y di 400?
La Y prova a muoverla a destra di
10.
1 centimetro.
419.
Can we get the image of the cyst from the ultrasound screen?
Yes, in a few seconds.
Great.
Oh, this okay. This
Great.
is ultrasound. Huh?
Yeah, now, you see, this is the cyst.
Uh-huh.
This black hole is a cyst in the liver. This is all liver.
So if you're operating remotely like this,
Remotely.
and you're looking at what you're doing on this ultrasound picture,
Yes.
is that more accurate than if you were there in the room,
Yes.
or less accurate?
Yes, at least as accurate as by the end, but probably more accurate because there is no way to make a mistake. You can calculate exactly the depth where you want that the needle stop, and that will be inside this black area, which is the cyst. We can be sure that the needle goes there.
I want to see here. Questo non è frizzato. Now try to suck.
And now we pump.
The position is not correct. You were in the right position, but then the needle moved. So you should repeat once again the puncture.
I push the pump again. Is it sucking?
How did we do today with this patient? Did this patient survive? Is the patient happy?
Everything is okay because the cut can be repeated. And I think the patient will be very happy for his health.
Frankly speaking, if I were the patient today, I wouldn't be very happy.
Oh, you should come to me.
Thank goodness he's a dummy. Octopus now? No more. You used to.
Yes, I love.
You love them.
Yeah.
But now that
Very nice.
now that you've been training them, you can't eat them. Now, what about these guys here?
These are good enough. This is not. No, they're.
Where are his eyes?
The head is this.
Yeah.
This is eyes.
Yeah.
From this
What's
side.
this? This looks like a
This
big
is
nose.
the mantle, the abdomen
it's
of the animal.
His abdomen, it's not
Yes.
his nose. Huh?
No.
And where's his mouth?
The mouth is underneath.
In
Here
the
is
middle of
mouth.
all his hands. The mouth is in the middle.
Yeah, here. You see.
You already gave him a jar and he couldn't do it.
No.
He could see the animal
There
in there,
are
but he couldn't.
half of population of animals that come from the sea, really, that are able to do, and the other half they are unable to do.
Oh.
So it depends, let's say, from the individual experience. There is some octopus that are more skilled than other ones.
Okay, so now the octopus over here in this tank is going to watch this one open
That's
the
right.
jar, huh? I need suction cups on my fingers here. I can't do it. Does he see it yet, do you think?
Yes. He's crawling now on the jar, and he recognizes the plug,
Yeah.
and he will try. Now its behavior is changed. Now it's carrying back, trying to carry. You see, he will carry the prey back to home to be more safe from the other animal.
He doesn't want the other animal to interfere.
That's
huh?
right.
Do you think that this animal, from observing that this time, may know how to do it?
we can try.
Great. Can we see?
Yeah. Reach the solution now.
Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. Look, 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 look. Oh, wow. Look at him. Just right at it. Oh, look, he got in. He got it open. And he was never able to do this before.
No.
This is unbelievable.
He will be not bite. He will not bite you.
Why do you need to be relaxed with an octopus?
If you would like to study behavior of animals, the animal must be sure that you would never kill him. There is such a kind of, let's say, good relationship between you and the animal, a good feeling.
You have to have a short touch, huh? Well, I don't have it. I think these animals can sense it.
Yeah, they are sensitive.
Yeah. What's the best way to pick them up?
Here.
How do you get used to this?
No.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah.
It's a little like
yeah, I'm beat to it.
It's a little like a handful of worms.
Yeah.
How old was Pompeii before?
Over more or less 700 years.
Before it got destroyed?
Yes, 700 years before of Christ.
What are these?
Okay, you can see here the special tracks of the chariots left here by the wheels here, very deep in some
the wheels
place.
would come through here and make these marks through the stone, huh?
Through the stones, yes.
There's a lot of, so I see 700 years of
700
chariots
years
would
of
make those
chariots,
marks.
Here we can see the family, complete family, piece of wood.
That wood
fell
came
down
out of
from
the
roof.
From the roof, huh?
From the roof. And a pregnant woman, 6 months pregnant here, the lady,
And
husband
It
here.
looks like he's trying to shield her, huh?
Yeah.
Trying to
Yes.
hold his arm over her. They knew it could go. Huh?
Could go, yeah.
And yet they carried on their daily lives. They lived right here at the base of the mountain. Where do you live?
Actually, now in New Pompeii,
Where's that?
it was just there, half a mile far from
over
here.
there.
But we are not afraid.
In 79, when that blew, there was a lot of ash that came up first. And this whole top blew up.
This is the crater of the last eruption of Vesuvius, the 1944 eruption of Vesuvius. This crater was formed during that eruption. Before 1944, you can walk from this side to the other side.
So what happened to all the stuff that was there between
Yeah,
here
it
and
was.
there? That
It
went
was.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Vesuvius once again strikes terror into the surrounding Italian countryside. Allora, iniziamo prima con una missione di temperatura.
Per il momento è 23, però ancora non ho terminato.
Allora, misuriamo la temperatura. Sì. Sono 54,7.
Sono straordinari queste incursioni, hanno fatto un lavoro eccezionale, soprattutto perché...
No, vedi dove è l'esperimento? La commissione, io ne sono convinto, ne sono uno di zafferano. Esperimenti si fanno, no!
Qual è la somma?
Blown up like mountain hell. This is part of the mountain.
miles an hour. There's no hope of ever getting out of the way.
200 miles an hour at a temperature of about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And it gives you an idea, it takes about 5 minutes for these floats to reach from here all the way down to the sea. In 5 minutes. In about 3 minutes, you're already to the autostrada, which passes about 7 kilometers down
And
there.
that's the way out.
No, that's not the way out.
I mean,
that's panic.
would like to see barriers built?
Not necessarily barriers. A barrier can be just a part of a condominium.
So you could live in an apartment
That's
dash
right.
barrier.
That's right. One part of the building can just be a barrier,
Yes.
which you don't see it actually.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can build. I mean, speaking freely,
yes,
you can build a set of houses down there. You know,
yes,
which one part looking towards the volcano is really a barrier.
Do you think that these people would get a little break on the rent? I mean,
actually no, because the closer you come here, the more it would cost because you get a more beautiful view.
For a while, anyway.
We ran the simulations up to 1,000 seconds, and the barrier was holding the flow.
So not only would many lives have been saved if that held true in reality, but the escape route would also have been preserved.
Well, you would save 700,000 people.
Can you point out to me where you live down there?
No, I don't live down there.
Where do you live?
Right now we are doing simulations in Pisa.
Ah, that sounds far enough away.
Yes.
Most people come to the mountains for the breathtaking views. But for some people, the most breathtaking sights aren't on top of the mountain, they're underneath it. This tunnel runs for about 5 miles underneath the Gran Sasso Mountain. There's supposed to be a turnoff along here somewhere. Hello, Alan Aldous, Scientific American Frontiers. Does there have to be a mixture?
That doesn't really have a very good constraint. In fact, there's some people that say that no mixture is necessary at all. But if you look, they both sort of have different actions on galaxies and so forth, right? The reason that people understand that we need to have dark matter at all is because there's certain... We know that the galaxy needs more matter to clump it together, okay? There's just not enough matter to have enough gravitational interaction to get it all clumped together, right?
Is this place that we're in a way, a telescope?
Yeah. It's under a mountain, so it's a telescope under a mountain. A muon essentially is it's a high energy moving at the speed of light particle, and it just comes flying right to the detector, right? I mean, there goes one right now, okay? I mean, they come through every 3 seconds.
Right now. That's amazing, I missed it. That goes so fast.
It just comes right through, right?
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, our electronics is capable of recording that muon when it comes in because we have detector planes that have been built to be sensitive to the track that the muon leaves behind.
Neutrinos make tracks.
sort of like if you had a, I don't know, if you had a flute playing in a 1,000-piece brass band or something like that, you would never hear the flute.
So in a way, this is creating a quiet room.
And so it's a quiet environment that allows us to be able to see these really rare events. Any magnet that we've ever built on Earth always has two poles to it, a north pole and a south pole, okay? What a magnetic monopole would be is if you could just separate out one of those poles from the other. You can try it with a magnet if you like. You can sit there and chop a magnet up into as many pieces as you like, and you'll never succeed, okay?
You'll always have a piece that has north on one side and south on the other.
South on the other.
Well, so how could you possibly have a monopole that's only north or south?
First of all, there's no reason that you can't have it. It's just we don't seem to have ever found such a thing. They're so massive that they could have only been produced in the very earliest moments of the Big Bang, some of the very first particles.
So they're not being produced now in stars or supernovas or anything?
Absolutely, there's no process in the whole universe that could produce a magnetic monopole.
Only the Big Bang was...
Only the Big Bang
was
powerful enough to produce those monopoles.
So, but from that time, from that event, that Big Bang, they're still out there somewhere, here somewhere.
We think they have to be there. The problem is we have no idea of how many of them there have to be. There could be anywhere from millions of them floating around us all the time to one in the whole universe.
This is the city of the Renaissance, Florence. Here for 200 years, starting in 1400, art and architecture were reborn. And it all began right down there in the heart of the city, in the Piazza del Duomo. Ghiberti may have beaten out Brunelleschi for the design of the baptistry doors, but Brunelleschi managed to get his revenge. And in doing that, he achieved the greatest feat of engineering of his age. Brunelleschi and Ghiberti were jointly appointed master architects of the dome, but there was one big difference between them. Brunelleschi had a plan, and Ghiberti didn't. Brunelleschi wanted the job all for himself, so he called in sick. He pretended to be ill, which left the job to Ghiberti, who before long was completely lost. Then, miraculously, Brunelleschi recovered and returned to the job. Here's the problem he faced. The area that had to be covered with a dome was 180 feet wide and 180 feet high. In those days, the way you made a dome was you filled the entire space with scaffolding. In fact, they just restored the dome, and that's how they did it. They're just removing the last of the scaffolding now. But in Brunelleschi's time, wood was extremely expensive, and the city fathers couldn't afford all that scaffolding. Brunelleschi's plan didn't need it. Instead, he invented some unique machines. Machines so secret that he made sure nobody ever saw the designs.
Quando questo è in alto gira nell'altro. Adesso gira così e adesso gira così.
Let me see. When it's up, it goes in this direction. And when it's down, it goes in the other direction. Like that. Ah. And the horse goes in one direction only. Prima volta che hanno
c'è
fatto questo.
un'invenzione di questo genere, sì.
È tutto per questa edizione della Scientific American Frontiers. Arrivederci, ci vediamo prossimamente.
This is PBS.